5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Gringo Show. So glad to have you with us. We are so excited because if you think you're bored with politics because the 2020 U.S. election is over, relax, because we have an election in Mexico this year, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun as well. I'm going to promise you sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever. It's going to happen. Blue Demon, or Blue Demon, one of the most famous wrestlers in Lucha Libre history, has declared his interest in elected office, and he will be here on the show tonight, hopefully, to talk about it. This is an interview you don't want to miss, so stay with us. It will be in Spanish, so English speakers, if you get nervous hearing a lot of Spanish, just shout out like a random expressions in English like, "Excuse me, can I get a margarita? No salt?" If it works in Cancun, it will work for this show. Para aquellos que miran y solo son oradores que hablan español, sí, los próximos minutos serán en inglés, pero sonríe y cuando toque mi nariz, ríe para impresionar a sus tías que esos viajes al cine han estado dando frutos. Okay? But if you've never heard of Blue Demon Jr. before, him and his dad, Blue Demon, have been part of the cultural institution in Mexico that is known as Lucha Libre. We wanted to get a deeper understanding of this sport, so we asked Gringo Show correspondent Julian Valois to journey out into Mexico City to learn more.
Thanks, Dan. Hello, everyone. I'm Julian Valois reporting from Chapultepec Park here in the heart of Mexico City. Mexico and the United States. Two different cultures, two different forms of wrestling. Today, I'm on a mission to discover the key differences between American WWE-style wrestling and Mexican Lucha Libre. I'm also going to find out why Mexicans are so passionate about their sport. Let's go. I assume this guy has something to do with math. This guy has to do with the Olympics. I think the green one at the top looks like me after a night out. Hola, mucho gusto, Eduardo.
Mucho gusto.
Entonces, ¿eres fan de la lucha libre?
Claro que sí, a nosotros nos gusta mucho la lucha libre.
Aquí la lucha libre en México es como una cultura que tenemos desde hace muchísimo tiempo, ¿no?
¿Qué son las diferencias entre la lucha mexicana y la lucha gringa?
En Estados Unidos es muy buena la lucha libre, pero aquí manejamos la máscara.
En el estilo gringo casi son puros golpes y todo eso.
Los mexicanos son mucho más técnicos.
¿Por qué crees que la lucha libre tiene tantos seguidores y tanta pasión de los mexicanos?
Pues yo pienso que es una forma de sacar el estrés que trae uno, porque en la lucha libre se va a gritar.
La gente va a sacar todas sus frustraciones a una arena.
Y hasta decirles de groserías a los luchadores, pero es de buena manera.
Me hace pensar un poco en como el Imperio Romano con los gladiadores.
Algo así. Algo así, es algo muy similar.
Ajá.
La diferencia es que aquí no se matan, aquí solamente
sí, hay menos tigres, ¿no?
Así es.
¿Y tienes un luchador preferido?
Preferido es el octagón.
Un Dr. Wagner, un último guerrero.
Atlantis.
¿Vampiro canadiense?
Vampiro canadiense. El que representa a México en la lucha libre es el señor Mil Máscaras.
Ok.
Ajá.
No, estás equivocado.
Sí.
Es el santo.
No.
Yo para mí, señores, el santo, el enmascarado
No
de
es cierto.
plata es el mejor.
Eso no es cierto.
Yo digo
eso,
que sí.
eso es una polémica.
Cálmate,
Sí.
cálmate. No.
Da patadas de karate y todo eso.
Él, pues, ¿quién es
Él es el
persona
matemático.
El matemático, okay. So there we have it, straight from the Mexican people. Lucha Libre is of huge cultural value, as important as tacos or mariachis. And I learned something new today, that Lucha Libre is a good place to get rid of your stress. So if you've been working on your exercise or meditation, maybe it's time you start thinking about Lucha Libre shows. Dan, back to you.
All right. We have Julian Valois joining us on the show. Julian, how are you? Julian, tell me something about are you a rudo or a técnico? Now, the rudo is supposed to be like the bad guys and the técnico is the good guy. Like, if I'm a rudo, does that mean I'm a bad person? Like, how does that work?
No, I don't think it makes you a bad person. I think you could be a better person if you cheered for the Technico. I mean, you're a Mets fan, you're not a Yankees fan. I think we know the difference, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I guess so. You're right. That's great. Julian, tell me something else that you learned that you didn't know about Lucha Libre.
Well, I guess something got reinforced. I've always known there's lots of passion here for Lucha Libre. We've seen it at events at Pinche Gringo. I've been to the arena a few times. But it was really cool to see the vendors at Chapultepec really just be eager to tell me everything they knew about Lucha Libre. So really want to thank them. And I also learned something. I think I figured out why I was terrible at math in high school. And it has something to do with this. I always thought there was a beast or some kind of force against me. And now I know it was El Matematico the whole time. Yeah.
All right, Julian Valois, Gringo show correspondent. Thank you so much for being on the show, Julian. All right, Mexico City continued its vaccination program this week for sugar mamas and sugar daddies, also known as the elderly, in the municipalities of Tláhuac, Ixtacalco, and Xochimilco. The Xochimilco sites are fantastic because not only can you get a shot that will save your life, but to celebrate, you can directly after rent a trajinera and get wasted while eating quesadillas. It's perfect. Maybe they should give vaccines on the trajinera. Claudia Scheinbaum, we need to talk. If you're watching, and I probably not, call me. Don't worry, Tláhuac residents. You can pay a visit to the Regional Museum of Mixquick, the Mexican version of chocolate milk. I don't know what the museum is, but maybe it's the Museum of Chocolate Milk. Sounds delicious. The U.S. just celebrated its 50 millionth vaccinated with an aggressive coordination effort by using stadium parking lots and other means to gain herd immunity. And unfortunately hasn't gone as quickly here in Mexico. Mexico has given the shot to about 1.4 million. Now, to the government's credit, it hasn't been easy to get a hold of these vaccines. I think the government, especially because the government, 200,000 doses of the Chinese-made Sinovac arrived just this week, where you can also find for very cheap at Plaza de la Computación, because that's where you can find almost anything Chinese-made. Sorry, is that racist? Yeah, a little bit. No one's watching anyway. It's fine. Even though 50 million have been vaccinated in the U.S., still people are doing what they can to get the shot. 2 women in Florida actually dressed up as elderly women to get it, but got caught in the act. Stop! Are those wrinkles fake? What's worse is that they got a lecture from a police officer.
You know what you have done? You've stolen a vaccine from somebody that needs it more than you. And now you're not going to get your second one. So that's a whole waste of time we just wasted here.
Yeah, and I was talking to your grandma, and she's very offended by what you said. Are you going to kiss her with that mouth? Sad, but also pretty funny. The site heightened security after this ordeal, and I don't understand what measures you could take, like giving out granny tests, like before you get your shot, make me a batch of cookies and then tell me about your aches and pains. Hey, Officer Krumke, she may be a grandma, or maybe she's a big bad wolf. And here in Mexico, we always blame crazy things on Mexico, like, eso es Mexico, güey. De todo pasó aquí en Mexico. But honestly, shit like this only happens in Florida.
Solo in Florida.
Only in Florida. That's right. All right. The NASA rover Perseverance landed on Mars last week to explore a crater said to have an ancient river. In the first images from the spacecraft, there were no signs of life on the red planet, except the rover discovered a group of Sanborn's waitresses dressed in their folkloric spacesuits, who in turn offered Perseverance an order of enchiladas mineros. I have a theory that Sanborn's restaurants is Carlos Slim's secret program to communicate with aliens. You never know, guys. You never know. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz arrived back in Texas from his short trip to Cancun last Thursday because, as the Memeverse showed us, no one was being fools. But are braids really a thing in Cancun? Isn't that more like a Jamaica or a Virgin Islands thing? This would be more believable, right? A little trip to Coco Bongo, Ted. If you missed this story, the senator was under fire last week for going to Cancun while many in his states were without power or water due to an unseasonable snow and ice storm that caused over 70 deaths, and those deaths are climbing. Next time, Ted, Fly private, please. Argentinian President Alberto Fernandez paid a visit this week to the taco capital of the world, otherwise known as Mexico City, to forge closer ties to its Latin American brother. Relations between the two countries have not been strong in recent years. The two presidents discussed economic cooperation, and Fernandez asked AMLO for advice on how to get out of a very large loan given to them from the International Monetary Fund. AMLO replied, "Just grab some monopoly money and pray it away, Alberto," just like COVID. While he was there, President Fernandez also wanted to visit the best Argentinian steakhouse in the city, but was then surprised when he realized that there are about 10,000 of them and they all taste the same. A sheep found wandering around the Australian outback that was found this week with 35 kilograms of fleece after 5 years of not being sheared. Kind of looks like chilangos when the weather dips below a chilling 18 degrees Celsius, 65 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. Was this a bad joke, guys? A bad joke? Our main story tonight deals with the 2021 Mexican legislative elections that will be held this upcoming June 6th. For those who aren't too familiar about the Mexican political system, representatives or diputados are elected for 3-year terms, the executive, governors, and presidents for 6 years. This election is really important for 2 reasons. First, it's the first election where legislators are eligible to run for a second 3-year term. In addition, it's the midterm election for President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who in 2018 took his party to a landslide win, winning majorities in both houses of Congress and big wins in many state and local elections. This one coming up because it will be a referendum on his leadership. He has struggled with the economy, with the COVID response where more than 180,000 people have died, and other things that have strengthened his critics. However, his approval rating is hovering in the high 50s, and it's really steady because, like Trump supporters, people feel like there's not much that he can do to lose their support. He can shoot someone in the Zocalo, and he'll still have that same support. We're going to follow this election closely at the Gringo Show. I'm sure there's going to be some fun drama that we can talk about, hopefully just as interesting as the hit Televisa telenovela, ¿Te acuerdas de mí? Guys, did you see that episode on Monday? I can't believe Pedro told Teo that his marriage was ordered. And then Teo found Vera inside Alberto's office trying to open his safe. It's nuts. But we're going to focus tonight on Mexico City municipality of Gustavo A. Madero, probably the only town in the world that includes a middle initial in its name. So please don't forget about its middle name, Adolfo. Never was elected to office, never did anything really big. He was just the president's cool, smart brother. But this year, there's an election for mayor or alcalde of the jurisdiction, and famous Lucha Libre wrestler Blue Demon Jr., I think, literally threw his hat or mask into the ring. He vows to keep himself anonymous and never take off his mask while in office. Joining us now is the Honorable, and we're so excited to have him here on the show, Blue Demon Jr. to discuss this. Hola, Blue Demon, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿qué tal, Gringo? ¿Cómo estamos? Muy contento de estar aquí en tu programa y muchas gracias por el espacio.
No, gracias por estar con nosotros. ¿Es Blue Demon o Blue Demon?
Bueno, en México la gente le dice Blue Demon, pero realmente el nombre como debe ser ser Blue Demon.
Sí, pero eres el único de luchador bilingual, porque
Así
Blue
es.
es inglés, Demon es español, eres como
Así
los dos países.
Así es, exactamente.
Sí, Blue Demon, una pregunta, la primera pregunta, porque todo el mundo quiere entender esto. Eres candidato para alcalde de Gustavo A. Madero y también tú dijiste de no quitas tu máscara en todo tu tiempo en la alcaldía y también ser anónimo por todo el tiempo. ¿Esto es legal?
Bueno, es legal precisamente porque no hay ninguna ley que me lo impida. Sí es cierto que hay que poner requisitos, tendría que aparecer el nombre de la persona que está bajo de esta máscara, pero no hay nada que me impida, ninguna ley que me impida traer mi máscara todo el tiempo.
Sí, claro, pero estás como con el INE y el INE dice, sí, está bien, eres listo para tu candidatura, ¿correcto?
Sí, mira, el principio de certeza no se viola, puesto que yo me voy a tener que identificar con las personas adecuadas, indicadas, y lo haré en su momento. Entonces, el principio de certeza de que no hay otro que esté tomando mi lugar o el puesto es indudable, ¿no? O sea, no se viola el principio de certeza.
Ok. ¿Y cuáles son tus temas de candidatura? ¿Qué cosas quieres mejorar en la alcaldía? La alcaldía es muy famosa por la basílica y también otras cosas en esta ciudad, pero ¿qué quieres
No
mejorar?
estoy escuchando.
¿Qué puedes mejorar en la alcaldía en tu tema de alcaldía?
Bueno.
¿Te puedes escuchar?
Ahí te escucho.
Ah, sí, perfecto. ¿Qué temas quieres mejorar en tu tiempo de alcalde de Gustavo Madero?
Híjole, creo que hay un poquito de interferencia, no escucho muy bien. Si pudieras hablar un poquito, pero es que oigo mucha interferencia.
Ah, sí, ok. Y también, Héctor, tenemos que Héctor, escuchamos bien. ¿Me escuchas mejor ahora? ¿No?
No estoy escuchando nada.
Ok, sí, es el tiempo de televisión en vivo. Es que está pasando en vivo. ¿Me escuchas mejor de Blue Demon? ¿No? Ok, perdimos Blue Demon por una vez. Julian, we lost Blue Demon. Hopefully he'll be back on in a second. This is the tema with live TV. Hopefully he'll log back in. What do you think so far?
I can't believe I'm following Blue Demon. That's all I have to say. So,
Blue Demon, ¿me escuchas mejor ahora?
Ahí escucho un poquito mejor.
Ah, perfecto. Sí, es el de la lucha con televisión en vivo, ¿no? Blue Demon, mi pregunta fue, ¿qué son los temas en tu plataforma, no? Como de tu iniciativa si quieres hacer ser alcalde de Gustavo Madero. Nos escuchamos perfecto a ti.
No sé por qué no. No estoy. Voy a poner
No
los
escuchas.
audífonos porque no los estoy escuchando. Quizá con los audífonos se escuche un poquito mejor. Pero, a ver, denme dos segunditos.
You can hear him, Julian, right?
I can hear him, yeah.
All right. I mean, this is really exciting to hear about the issues that are going to face us in Gustavo Madero. What do you think?
It's been some big build up. I'm looking forward to it.
Bueno.
¿Te puedes escuchar mejor?
Un poquito mejor.
Perfecto. Continúas, dígame tus iniciativas si quieres hacer en Gustavo Madero en caso de ser electo de esta oficina.
Bueno, más o menos, creo que estoy adivinando tu pregunta, pero si en caso de ser electo en la delegación, la alcaldía de Gustavo Madero, sí pienso gobernar con máscara todo el tiempo y primeramente me voy a enfocar en la gente más desprotegida. Que no creo que es tu pregunta.
Sí. Perfecto. Julian, maybe you can... ¿Te escuchas, Julian, o no?
Hola, Blue Demon, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy Julián.
No te escucho, no escucho a ninguno de los dos.
Ok, el volumen. Mejorarle el volumen, ¿o no?
A ver. Bueno.
Sí, ¿me escuchas?
Escucho muy cortado, muy cortado.
Ok, voy a mejorar mi volumen. ¿Escuchas mejor ahora?
Nada más escuchas, no escucho otra cosa.
Ok, nos escuchamos, sí, bien. Ok, what should we do, Julian? Should we just...
Yeah, I'm really interested in learning the policies. Si nos puedes escuchar, estamos preguntando acerca de lo que puedes hacer como iniciativas en su alcaldía.
No escucho nada.
Bueno.
Voy a despejarme y me voy a volver a conectar si ustedes me escuchan.
Okay, perfecto. If anybody's still watching, we all want to hear, Julian, I know you want to hear.
Yeah, I just don't think he wants to say it. Yeah. I don't think he wants, he's very secretive.
Julian.
I don't know.
If anybody's still watching, see, now everybody's leaving the show. If anybody's still watching the show, stay with us because we're going to cut this and we're going to put it back up on the show, like with everything done right. So he's going to log in again and hopefully, and Hopefully. Okay. Hector, add Blue Demon to the show. Let's see if Blue Demon can hear more. Blue Demon, can you hear us?
Ahora sí los escucho perfecto.
¡Hey!
Hey-o.
Perfecto. Ese tema con la televisión en viva es una lucha.
Así es.
Y otro chiste otra vez.
Así
Dígame,
es.
de Blue Demon, ¿cuáles son tus iniciativas si quieres ser de alcalde de Gustavo de Madero? ¿Qué quieres mejorar en el alcalde, en tu candidatura?
Bueno, primeramente quiero comentarte que las funciones de un alcalde son muy limitadas, pero me voy a enfocar en lo que es la salud, en lo que es la seguridad y lo que es justamente pues reactivar la economía en esta alcaldía que está un poco pues caída, y vamos a tratar de apoyar a todos los comerciantes para que pues la economía esté un poco más pues movida, ya que con la pandemia todos los comerciantes han dejado de estar trabajando en muchas ocasiones y bueno, otros han dejado incluso los negocios.
Uh-huh. Sí, también tienen otros temas de educación en tu alcaldía y también tienes la famosa Basílica de Guadalupe, ¿no?
Ya no escucho otra vez.
No escuchas, ¿eh? Ok, ¿Te escuchas otra vez?
Le voy a pedir al host, si me escucha, que no me cambie la imagen cuando los estoy escuchando, porque eso hace que se cause la interferencia. Me voy a volver a salir y voy a volver a entrar.
Ok, perfecto. Yeah, I don't know, Julian. This is fun TV too, no?
This is fun. This is how it was like in the old days. Uh-huh.
Just like in the old days, yeah.
Just like in the old days on digital television. Yeah.
Julian, how are things out in Canada? Tell us about the cold weather. Is it still cold or?
Actually, it's balmy. -4, I think it was today. But it really makes a difference when it's -20. Oh, okay, sure, whatever, yeah.
Can you hear us now or no? ¿No escuchas?
No. Los escucho cortados otra vez.
Ok, pues vamos a reiniciar y grabar el programa con Blue Demon después. Tú puedes hablar, Roxy, con Blue Demon ahora en teléfono y vamos a regresar y grabar entrevista y cortar y poner otra vez, ¿ok? Sí, te puedes. Blue Demon, te marco en teléfono. Okay. Bueno. Well, actually, let's wrap this up, Hector, and then we'll tape it. We'll pull it down, and then we'll go back and we'll put it on the whole interview with Blue Demon when we're working on everything. Okay. All right. So that does it for the Gringo Show. Okay, that does it for the Gringo Show. So great to be with you all tonight. What an interview. If you're getting pretty hungry because of it, no worries. We have a solution. Please support our sponsor, Pinche Gringo Barbecue. You can order delicious ribs, brisket, pulled pork, my favorite BBS sandwich, and a host of other things. The restaurants are now exclusively available on the Uber Eats platform, or you can visit pgbbq.mx and place your order directly online. Please support your local restaurants during this tough time in the pandemic. Also, if you like what we're doing on The Gringo Show, please follow us on Facebook or YouTube as well. For all of us, thanks so much for being with us. Have a great night.
Pinche Gringo, Mexico is laughing thanks to you. We like to watch you dance salsa and listen to your bad Spanish too. We like to watch you almost die from spicy food.